Hey guys, what's going on? I got my friend Sharon here doing a little brain training. She hooked me up. I got these aren't earrings I got wearing over here. All right, say hi, Sharon.
Hi.
So we got this brain training software over here, and Sharon's about to help me understand what all these bar graphs meant because I've been out of school for a while. Sharon, go ahead.
Okay, so here we are. His brain is hooked up. We're going to do about 30 minutes of
There is something
feedback
up there
training.
still, right?
There is. We're going to find out, and it's certifiably true. So here on the graph, we're looking at his brain's frequency from 0 to 42 hertz. The left panel is his left brain. The right is his right brain. And then we have here everything that we've always heard about, from delta waves, alpha waves, theta, low beta, beta, all the way up to where your quarterback lives here at 42 hertz.
What's quarterback live?
It's your operations center.
Oh, okay.
Just like, you know, the ball snap time on the field or the center on a soccer field.
Uh-huh.
And so really where the problem areas reside in our frequency in the brain is down here, like 14 and below. We just finished doing your 30-second pre-baseline, and now we're going to look at the analytics to see what it looked like.
So what do all these lines mean exactly?
Okay, so this is the delta wave here in gray.
Uh-huh.
Then you've got the beta and delta waves in here, and alpha waves, then on up.
But what is
we'll
that?
Get into more detail later. I've got another graph.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So this is a very new technology to many people. So let's just kind of walk through your own analytics now, and then we'll see where we're headed.
Okay.
So here we did. So we just finished your 30-second baseline.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
And here is his left brain and right brain. And then this line in the center is a horizontal depiction of his center line seen here. Over time, what we want to see in Daryl's brain is this line to become very skinny and integrated. Right now, this is, to me, indicating, based on the channel I'm seeing here, and we see nice pattern, left brain, right brain balance. But what we'd like to see is to be fully manifested, work more efficiently, and for those frequencies and center lines to come in with a very narrow standard deviation.
So right now that looks like a standard, was it like 16 or something like that?
Exactly.
So what is the ideal?
Well, mine, for example, now that I've been training for about 10 years on the system, is
Wow.
that mine is about an 1/8 inch wide.
Okay, 1/8 inch wide.
1/8 inch wide.
And mine's 16.
Well, in
I thought I was
relativity
doing
on
pretty
the
good.
graph, right? You are doing pretty good, and we're going to see after the training, you know, what improvements occurred. This, to me, looks like a new trainer's brain. I see this all the time in the beginning.
Okay.
Over time, you know, your channel could go down to like 0.4.
What is a channel exactly?
The channel really is just a measurement relative and a ratio. It's really nothing specific. Let's look at this next graph to give you a little bit more detail. Here's your brain too. We started this the 30-second pre-baseline. This is at 0 to 30 seconds. Midway through, I asked you at 15 seconds to close your eyes. You can see it leveling out. This scale is at 4 digits. You see 1,700 or so. Sometimes people have in the tens of thousands. Let's say they're suffering from severe PTSD or TBI, or they just had a stroke. You know, it can vary. This is still very typical of what I see.
Okay.
From an
So it's
average point of
pretty
view.
normal?
That's right. I would say it's pretty normal in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, so now mine can show up in the 3 digits and 2 digits, depending upon what's going on in my day. So maybe I commuted here from Annapolis to D.C., and it was heroin.
Traffic.
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 So then it can be kind of crazy. But what we'll see on
Look at that, guys.
baseline,
So you have me hooked up, and my brain's on the screen now. Go figure, right?
go figure, it is figuring. And what we're going to look at is hopefully we'll see the amplitude, see how spiky it is. Sometimes the spikes can be double that though.
Okay.
So this is pretty cool. It's all good. But what we should see is this smoothing out and settling in and integrating the training that you're just about to receive. So also on your head is some headphones. And this is how you're receiving the brain's training via audible interrupts.
My trainer right now?
Not yet. I haven't pushed the button. It's going to be about 30 minutes of neural training where the brain or the body or a living thing responds to frequency through light and sound, right?
Okay.
So these geniuses have figured out a way that through auditory interrupts, It's a signal to your brain to get a real-time image, a mirror image of what your brain is doing, so that it can say, hey, thanks for this information. Now I know how to create a more efficient neural pathway in the brain.
Wow. What's a neural pathway in the brain for somebody who's never heard that before?
Okay, so, we're an electrical system, and so, from your prefrontal cortex to, everywhere is an electrical system that has these little bitty nerves, right, that are firing off. When there's some sort of interruption, or maybe that neural pathway is like going so many different directions trying to do the same thing, which is seen by how fast your brain looked at the beginning.
Okay.
In time, it slows down because it doesn't have as far to go and think and do.
Got it.
And work for you. So it's so dynamic. The neuroplasticity, all that gray matter in our brains, is an electrical engine.
Got it.
That is like rewiring itself.
It's like one big ball of lights, at Christmas time. It's all just firing on.
That's it. Yeah. So you're going to hear like some trance music, and sometimes you're going to notice that the music's just going to stop in tiny little intervals. That's to you, Daryl, that you can cognize and hear that. But to the brain, it means so much more.
Okay.
So much so that you could be sleeping right now and still be neural training.
Got it.
We could be going through some guided mindfulness meditation together. We could play a game of chess. Children whom I see could be watching a movie. As long as they're able to hear the music and hear the audible interrupts, whether they realize they're happening or not, your brain is training.
So could they listen to this all day, or would that wear out their brains?
So like a gymnast, or a marathoner, or an Olympian, they train for 4 or 5 hours a day, but they take rests. So this technically you could neural train twice a day. You just really need a 2-hour break.
How long would you train for, though?
Well, depends upon you and what you want to accomplish, what your goals are. So as we start the training, then we're going to get into the forms that you filled out and talk about your goals.
How would I know I'm tired, though? I mean, because I go pretty hard. How would I know I'm getting tired?
Your brain knows.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not sure how much you know about the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic.
Never heard of it.
Okay, it's the fight or flight response.
Okay.
So your brain and central nervous system can shut down if it needs to. As you neural train over time, much like you're in physical movement in a gym or whatever your physical activity is, conditioning begins to occur. Your endurance builds. Your resilience, flexibility improves.
Got it.
It's the same with the mental muscle.
Interesting.
Okay, we're not looking at this from a psychiatric bent or a psychological bent. We're looking at it a physiological mental muscle.
Cool.
So now we go back to, let's say this is your gray matter in your brain, and you were just coming up with more efficient neural pathways to operate your heart, which is a nerve, to think more clearly. So let's get this started, and I want to make sure that you can still hear me.
Yep.
Once the music is on, which you'll kind of have a sense for in the next minute or so.
Wow,
there you are. That is your brain moving.
That's my brain moving, guys.
Yep. So here's the left brain.
Biggie. See, my brain's moving.
The right brain from 0 to 42 hertz.
What's going on, Sean? What questions you guys got? Post your questions below.
That sounds good. I like that. Okay, so I had you fill out just kind of a quick checklist of concerns about everything in our body's constitution, from its physicality to its psychiatric condition
I even
to
put my
its
toenails on
behavior.
there. Yeah.
Right down to whatever is not, in terms of brain flow, not feeding the toenails. They have discoloration. You have kind of that.
Yeah, I got some nasty toenails, guys.
Okay.
Go figure.
So
what's up, Sean?
If the nervous system is firing more efficiently, maybe it's getting the blood flow. Some people, have this tingling sensation in their arm, or their arm falls asleep easily.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a function of something not working very efficiently in the brain. Whether it's because you didn't eat well, you don't sleep well, who knows? We're much more whole than that.
Wow.
So, yeah. So if you were to tell me, based on some of the information.
Hey, Christine, how you doing? You're going to love this, Christine. I'm going to get you hooked on this.
All right. What would you say, what are your 3 main goals?
Three main goals?
Yeah, so let's say you'll
in my life?
Well, let me ask it this way, more pinpointed. I will know neurooptimal is working if.
Ooh, I like that. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys get that? These are questions I ask you guys all the time.
That's it. I will know if Neurooptimal is working if, and I'd like 3 things.
Wow. Can I ask anything I want? It's like the genie. You get 3 wishes.
That's it.
I get 3 wishes today. Man, 3 wishes.
Yeah.
Gosh. Think about this. I'd like to help 1,000 people a month with mental performance.
How many can you help now, currently?
Thousands.
Okay. Okay.
As
So
many
you would like
people
to help
hear my
1,000
message.
people per month in a more what way?
It's more structured.
Okay. Love that answer. Structured is a great word.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me another one.
I'd like to get to 8% body fat.
Okay. What's another one? It can be relative to your family system at home.
Yeah, I
it
was
can be
thinking I'd like
relative
to
to
Take
task
kids
management.
on vacation this summer and go back to Atlantis. So
And what from more of a personal constitution point of view would you like to see improve? That
me?
you might be aware of? Yeah.
focus.
Perfect. Okay, so let's leave it at that.
Mhm.
Again, this is a snapshot in time. We would look at it over time. All right. So let me ask you. When you stepped in here today, how do you feel today? Scale 1 to 10. 10 feeling really good.
That's a great question. I use that question all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in the chair today, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, other than sleeping for about an hour and a half last night, I feel great.
Okay.
You know, I feel it. I give myself a 9. You know, being that I felt like I had some more energy because maybe I rest a little bit more. I'd probably had 10.
Why didn't you sleep well?
I didn't. It's not that I didn't sleep well. I just was finishing a project and I needed to
got
get
it.
it done for today.
Okay.
So I was wrapping up a project last night, and I start going on stuff, and I just don't stop, and
Yep.
I don't get tired.
Okay.
So I
Got
just
it.
go.
Got it. I just go. That's a good quote too.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any symptomology that you're experiencing? Just regular stuff that you might have talked to your physician about today, from stuffy nose to
Oh,
pain here
I've
or
had
there, a
my-
sensation, a feeling.
right shoulder has been bothering me, so I came in to get some help from Dr. Alexander today. Ridgely Retreat, that's where I'm at, guys, here in
Right.
Annapolis.
Right.
And
Broad-based wellness center, by the way.
Broad-based Wellness Center.
Mhm.
And she did some work on my shoulder.
Okay. And on
Um,
a scale of that 1 to 10, where would you say that was going in?
Going in, it's about a 9, because I've been seeing her now for a year.
Okay.
And a year ago, I couldn't even lift my shoulder to do exercises
Okay.
like that I'm able to do now.
Okay, great. And this is a personal question, so feel free not to answer it since
Sure.
we're live. But are you taking any medications, and if so, which ones?
No medications.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, so overall, you would say that you're feeling a 9, usually most days.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't like that before. The big thing was me. I got some help from my friend Anthony DiComene, who's healthblueprint.com, and he's a phenomenal health coach, and he got me to change up my diet a lot.
Awesome. And when was
So,
that? When did you start working with
That
him?
was about
Month,
a
year?
year ago.
Okay.
So, a year ago, yeah. Him and Anthony and I sat down. We did a session around that, and then I helped him with some things, and he helped me out with that, and he's really good at what he does. So, really smart at health stuff. So when I changed my diet, my energy shot through the roof. I used to like, I didn't realize how allergic I was to gluten.
Yes.
So like, if I have any gluten, I just want to pass out. So really cut that out of my diet.
Nice.
Made a huge difference.
Nice. Okay, great. So this is a really nice baseline, and we've already seen that. It'll be curious to note what it looks like at the end. You know, again, this is an opportunity for you to not only work on your physicality, which you already are, that is what you like to do, but now just to improve the efficiency, build flexibility, and repattern neural pathways in your brain. So it's working for you.
So cool.
Yeah.
So can you explain what's happening on the screen with all the bars and?
I can a little bit. Let me grab a chart we can look at.
Hey guys, so you guys are just joining us now. Here with Miss Sharon, and she's helped me out reprogram my brain. So it's a tall task. She's about to show the chart and how this stuff works, and you guys.
Okay. So there's his brain real time right now, training away.
There's my brain on neuro-optical.
Okay. He's now currently on the second stage of the training. You see Zen 2. During Zen 1, what was happening is that the system was comparing Daryl's right brain frequency, let's say 42, all the way down to its spectrum down to 0, independently of what the right brain was doing. And so the training was just like, I am getting audible interrupts just from my left brain, and I'm not thinking about or caring about, this is my brain talking, caring about what my right brain is doing in kind at the same time. During Zen 2, what we start doing is we get into comparing the left brain 42 hertz to the right brain's 42 hertz, the 35, the 30, 27, all the way down to 0. Left, right, like that. During Zen 3, what we'll begin to do is we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to say, okay, the system's going to look at what it's taking in at 42 hertz, and it may look at, randomly, what's going on in the right brain at 14 to kind of bring it up. So let me kind of go like this. In the beginning, we were just going like this, left brain independent of the right brain. Okay. During Zen 2, we were going like this.
It's an interaction between the two.
And balancing it out in the whole spectrum of frequency from 0 to 42. During Zen 3, it's kind of like more of a spiral graph pattern where we're saying 42, maybe down to 21, go over here, and we start doing this kind
of like zigzag effect.
Spiral graph.
Spiral graph, okay.
You know? Or it may just kind of stay in this area for a while because it's recognizing that we need to work on that patterning. So that kind of segue to.
How does it know, like over here, like I was kind of it gets fatter here at Cena's, and then this some kind of higher and skinnier over here. Like, what's it doing there? Like, how does it know to get like these? I'm just curious, like, but there's a lot more activity going there and a lot more there.
So this is a very simplistic view that we can see.
I imagine
what is going on.
Because I got a complicated brain.
That's right.
We all have complicated brains.
But it's giving it, to me, what it's showing is that I see how fast it's working.
Yeah.
You know, for an advanced trainer like myself who's been using the system for 10 years, you know, mine at this stage is becoming much more slower. But what I do like seeing is that you got like this tight. The standard deviation is right on the center core, the 0 standard deviation level. You see the marks here too for. I mean, when it's winging out. But these are your happy frequencies. These are the ones really working for you. So I don't mind. It might be shooting out right now to kind of just focus in on something that it's experiencing down here.
I think the big question everybody always wants to know is like, how do I compare it to other people's brains? You know, when they look at something like this, like how would I are you more on the skinny side then? Because you've been doing this working out a lot longer? Yeah,
or because this is a dynamical real-time system, even the advanced trainer that I am, sometimes, you know, I've got some work to do out here. Okay. You know, my brain might be ready to go to more an advanced training step and, you know, and it's challenging itself. Yeah. So none of this is bad.
Sure.
At any time from a, you know, beginner, intermediate, or advanced neural trainer like you're doing today. But this is what I would say is beginner's brain. It's just very fast. Now another kind of fun one.
Hey Patty, you gotta check this out, Patty. It's pretty wild. Hey Ernest, how you doing, buddy?
So this is indicative of a new brain trainer too, because you see now.
New brain trainer, is that me?
That's you.
I'm a new brain trainer, guys. Go
That's
figure.
It.
What's up, Drew?
So you see how your standard deviation now is pretty wide. And you also see, okay, so we've got,
You like all these stuff on me?
right, so you see what we were just looking at, you know, these different colors onto two different things, like the alpha waves we know about, the delta, the low beta, and it's kind of describing what each does. But you've got your delta, theta, you're moving up to alpha.
Yeah,
Your extrasensory perception and motor rhythm are in here. That's where that lives, low beta, on up.
So where's like the theta waves on the bottom?
Yeah, they kind of live, they all live like down in
Why
here.
does it say bad?
Well, if you go over here, you see that the cognitive reactivity to images, you know, may not be aware of them, you know, at 5 hertz.
Okay.
You know, it feels like a storm. Maybe you got PTSD. Maybe you've had or experienced a TBI. And down here, your brain is compensating for wherever that injury was on your head.
Okay.
You know, PTSD, trauma, lives in the amygdala, which is in the center of your brain, but it's certainly affecting the functionality of your theta waves. So it's picking that up.
Got it. So,
Okay.
so how does this work when people have had trauma in the past for helping them?
Same concept. There is some damage to some neural pathway or a set of neural pathways that the brain now is being able to sense in a more discrete, real-time way that we can't reach with medication or other physical therapies.
Interesting.
And so it's getting such a high amount of intelligence about what it's doing, so it's like it can literally say in a mirror image, that's where I need to go. I need to go this way. Versus the way it's currently going, because it's not working for me.
Yeah.
Or my client, my brain. My brain is not working for Daryl right now. So let me kind of point you back to this. So, you know, yours is still pretty wide. And again, this is indicative of a beginner. And what we'll see, even at a beginning stage, is you see how things are starting to straighten out here? I don't know if you noticed a couple minutes ago when I
it's
turned
all
this
over the
on.
place.
It was even within each segment, each color span on the spectrum. Let me put this back. You know, at first, even this was broken up. But it's starting to form a line.
Yeah.
The yellow is
see
like
that
it's
now.
bouncing beyond its standard deviation. So remember I talked about that spiral formation? So, I mean, that's looking at 14 yellow and like, hey, I need to kind of bring that in. And maybe my 28 up here will help do that on the right side. Or maybe on the same side.
So the software and all the things hooked up to my head basically is outputting this on the screen.
Yes, via high-tech transformative math and algorithms.
A lot of math in there,
A lot
obviously.
of math. The genius, I mean, you know, he is the designer of this system.
Who designed this?
Baldine Brown. He
Okay.
is the proprietor and IT genius now. He has a PhD in psychiatry, and he developed this system in the late 90s.
Interesting. Why do you think this hasn't grown as, big as it should be today?
Because it's a no-brainer. It's just so simple. And it's
Yeah.
a non-invasive way of writing the brain's central nervous system. It doesn't require medication. A client may be on medication, recovering
So-
from a TBI and whatnot, but what...
People who write prescriptions don't like that. The big
Right.
pharma guys.
Right, and since this is not a medical device, it's not a diagnostic tool,
Yeah.
how does it really become, in our paradigm way of thinking in society,
Sure.
right, it's someone like you who is already open to holistic care and self-care,
Yeah, absolutely.
and for, his family and his children.
Yep.
I currently have a client, a mother, a single mom of 3 sons, ages 10 to 12, all adopted. The 2 youngest are brothers who were adopted from Russia, and they were bounced in foster care 4 times before she could finally get them. And they're now at an age where their behavior is starting to play out in school. And it looks like ADD and behavioral health issues, but
Sure.
really it's trauma.
Yeah.
So we've already seen in 4 sessions with the youngest son that he's getting positive reports from his teachers at school. He's able
Wow.
to focus. He's able to interact with me with more clarity, more trust. And his older brother is struggling a little bit. But, as they keep up with that, we're going to see these smooth out. And we can see it with the trends on the pre- and post baselines that are stored. This
Yeah.
is your data. So over time, we can look at 10, 20, 100 sessions and overlap that one screen where we saw the...
So you can see the progression for everybody.
Yep.
So how did you get started doing this?
I myself am a military vet.
She's Army guys. We'll let her by.
Yeah. And I had washed off some medication, and discovered that I had cortisol stress issues. My adrenal points were shot. I was working with an...
How old are you roughly at this point? Still
at
in the
that
Army
point,
at that point?
No. In fact, I'd been out of the military for about 5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm. And with medication, I could manage my PTSD. I could manage the bipolar, but then at some point I had worked with acupuncturists and holistic care just like you are today, and washed off of them. What that reared, though, was a horrible sleep disorder. Now I couldn't stay asleep. Now I still had a lot of flash images. My physicality, though, had completely recovered. You know, my body was strong again. My function was much better, but it was just so hard to do. And so I had a naturopath that had a client, same age woman like me, had cortisol levels that were among the worst she'd ever seen in a kind of rigorous community that we live here in the, you know, the political beltway.
Yeah. That's Washington, D.C. for you guys outside of the area.
That's right. And so I went to see this neurofeedback trainer on this exact system 10 years ago. And she recommended, since I couldn't stay asleep for about 9 months, I mean, I'd had it. She said, if you can come twice a week, do that. And then we can taper you off to once a week, and then you're going to gain a sense of what your rhythm should be. And so I did it. Twice a week, within 4 sessions, I was sleeping through the night.
Wow.
Which was just so awe-inspiring to me. And I thought, like a good military person does, look, if it's working for that, what else can this do?
Sure.
So from an innate point of view, you know, her focus in her practice was social work.
Yeah.
It wasn't neurofeedback training like I like to do in a wellness practice setting. And 10 years later, we can do that now, right? You're doing it, I'm doing it. And the more I kept up with it, the more conditioning I experienced. So all of a sudden, standing at the line paying for my groceries after work one night when I commuted 2 hours was no big deal. I didn't want to put the groceries back because the line was too long.
Sure.
I noticed these things. I noticed that my interactions with colleagues was easier.
Yeah.
Family members.
Where were you at the low point of low points when it came to all this? Sounds like you had a really tough time with the bipolar and...
I did,
and
in
all that
fact.
stuff.
In fact, in 2001, that medically retired me.
Wow.
And so I went through the whole Walter Reed process. I had great medical care within the military system.
Sure.
But, you know, I certainly didn't want to sustain my life on
What was it
medications.
that kind of brought into your knees at that point?
Big moves.
Yeah.
Trauma in childhood and loss of family members that really, while I thought I was addressing them, age kind of caught up with me. At this point, I'm in my mid to late 30s. I'm in my early 40s when I washed off these bipolar meds and, you know, was getting stronger all the time, but the mental muscle was obviously weak. I wasn't able to build my own dopamine and neonepinephrine, these, you know, chemicals that I knew I could make on my own.
Yeah.
And there was no amount of supplements or medications that were helping me do that and sustain me. So that's when I discovered Neurooptimal, and it allowed my brain, by creating those efficient pathways, now I could make my own dopamine and neuroepinephrine.
Wow.
Clearly I could, because I was functioning. So my autonomic nervous system, the fight or flight response, no longer was in distress, and I could heal my adrenal points. So, you know, there's a reason why we say fight or flight. There are 2 adrenal points on each kidney. And when we say we're burnt out, what that literally means is that those points, those kind of cords that come into the face of the kidneys, are burnt. They can't do their thing. They've had it. Just like we are saying. So we really pay attention in this work about what the client's saying.
So with this, I mean, how has this changed your life in the past 10 years? I mean, you went from being medically retired, which is a huge deal in the military. You don't just get that. I mean, you're not able to function.
That's it.
I mean,
That was a big deal, and that was very traumatic to me.
What were you doing when you got out of the military? Did you have a job even? I mean, like, what could you do?
You know, luckily I had colleagues in the civil service and then director heads that were in uniform yet in D.C. that took me on as a GS employee, but not at the income level I used to make.
Sure.
You know, I had to start over. I was still healing from the bipolar episodes I was encountering and navigating medications that aren't discrete unique to me. So there were so many side effects associated with that, but committed to this work. Had to do it. That was the best thing I had out there at that point. And what I found with this, I literally, within a year or two, my income went up 40%.
Wow.
I was still kind of like in the, you know, mid 60s, and all of a sudden I shot up to 110,000.
That's a big difference.
life-changing.
Life-changing difference, especially in the DC area. I mean, you get 60,000, you can't even live in a shoebox.
Right.
So.
Right. And just imagine what it did for me personally.
Yeah.
You know, already losing my uniform job and
Yeah.
wanting to stay until I was a 1-star general. That was the dream.
Sure.
You know, to get that back was like, wow, this is all worth it.
Yeah, you get your life back.
Got my life
Probably
back.
like
And then
life
some.
that you never even had before.
Right.
For all the stuff
Right.
you went through.
Right. So I always thought, you know, if I ever, quit federal civil service life, I would get into this. And so 2 years ago, I became a neurooptimal trainer, and I'm working on a graduate degree now in health and wellness, and utilizing my GI benefits. And we're just going to let this continue to grow and share it. And because it's such a new technology, I'm just so happy that you wanted to do this. This is a great idea because
I love this.
Right, you're asking great questions because 99% of the population's never even heard of it.
I hadn't heard of it till I mean, I'm lucky enough to come originally treat, and I saw a flyer for it, I think, and I was like, what is this? And anything to do with the brain, I'm always interested in.
That's right.
Anything to optimize it. So when I learn about this, and this is definitely something I would recommend for my clients to do.
Right.
How can people learn more about you or come in contact with doing this? I mean, I understand you were saying right now they don't have the capability to do this remotely, but
Well, you do and you don't. There are now in-home units that a client can buy.
Do you have them off your website somewhere? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, we can get all
That's
that
so
information,
cool.
put that out. We can actually put that on your site.
Yeah, we'll put it on there. Put it on the feed, guys. You guys get your own brain trainer at home.
Yep. And so another model that I'd like to get into shortly is have in-home units that I can rent to a client, let's say in Missouri.
Sure.
And that he or she once in a while do a pre and post baseline in the beginning, or maybe, and then at the end, maybe 10 or 20 sessions later. And in the meantime, their in-home system, they can plug and hook in anytime they want. I can look at the data on my professional system, on the in-home system.
So they could like send it into you through the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you could upload it and kind of give them a coaching session about their biofeedback from the brain.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it. You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
So, Patty, you want to get your brain trained, you got to get on here.
Yeah. And so a little bit about this. This just didn't come out of the blue thin air here just 15, 20 years ago. This actually was invented during the NASA program in the 60s.
Why do you think, I have my own discrepancies. I was just having a conversation with Dr. Alexander about why people are, not, how to say, like, I had a friend of mine, Chris Goner, and he had an opportunity. He was retired medically due to post-traumatic stress, and when he went out, what's up, guys?
Can you hear the music okay, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay,
so,
good.
yeah.
I'm just going to adjust this one, though. I don't like where that is landing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so Chris, guys, he went to retired in 2006, and everything is on the internet, so you guys can check Chris out. Just Google his name and stuff. What's up, Chris? If you listen to this, and basically, so Chris was medically retired, similar, as Sharon was, and he was actually flown to Washington D.C. because Chris was the only person to ever get help on the PTSD side of things to go back to the military who wanted to get reinstated and was a PTSD separate. So he was separated 100% PTSD wise, and he went back, and the same doctors, psychologists who kicked him out said he can come back in. And when he went to Washington, D.C. to testify in front of Congress about it, because they asked him to, then Congress, the last minute, last hour, got wind of his story. Probably Big Pharma, if you're listening to this, sorry, Big Pharma, didn't allow him to testify in front of it. So it's stuff like that, and it's stuff like the neurooptical that I'm doing here today that they could get you the help you need, possibly, and it's not going to, you don't have to take a pill or go to a doctor forever or, have a brain surgeon. Check this out. Just hook up some neurooptical stuff to your head like I'm doing here.
Neurooptimal. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, and here's the thing. There are football players that have been living with PTSD
Yeah, let's talk
and brain
about that, because
injury.
the TBI and the concussion stuff out there.
That's huge.
Imagine NFL would be all over something like that.
That's right. And so that worksheet you picked up on me the other day, I have on there a concussion football testimonial of someone that suffered for 30 years, and all of a sudden neurofeedback came into his life here.
Have you reached out to the guy who did the movie Concussion?
No.
Why not?
I'm in just the beginning.
Let's get you started here.
Yes.
We're waiting for.
Yes.
Guys, we got to get her in front of the guy.
Yes.
What's that doctor's name? He's really long, name from, was like Nigeria, or I can't remember the country he was from. Do you know the movie, right? You seen the movie?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the
I
movie?
haven't
Oh my
seen
gosh,
the
guys, she
movie.
has not seen the movie.
Right.
Here's your homework, right? Everybody
Right,
gets home.
thank you.
You gotta go watch Concussion. So I'm serious.
Yeah,
you gotta
I'm
watch the
with you.
movie. There's a doctor
Yeah,
you need
and,
to get in touch with.
and I think that is my challenge with this because it's so new relative to the general public. I can go anywhere with this. Right now, I'm just so happy to be talking with another veteran who's been in the military that has this network because we all have this frame of mind that we'll reach and do anything under our own power. And you're not going to have anybody talk to you about this within the medical community.
Yeah, this is so true. It's what they're not talking about, guys. That
And
helps.
so I would love to see this get into the VA healthcare system. It's going to be the military that leads the way. And all the veterans and all the TBI and all the PTSD that we're experiencing out there. Just like all the other things that get tested. This is really the one. And so, I would like to see this get into some VA hospital systems. Why not?
Yeah, would have helped you out 10 years ago.
Right.
Might still
I
be in
can't
the military.
even tell you.
so.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's right. I never would have had the episode to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So yeah. It could so that they can deal with the trauma that they're playing through real time first instead of like letting it reside.
So if you guys have any questions? Patty, you're on here. Any questions you guys have for Doctor, just shoot them down below, and I'll be happy to answer any of these. What's up, Gerald? How you doing, buddy? What's up, Paul? Paul's actually a fireman out in Boise, Idaho. He's a friend of mine, so he's always big fan, always watching the shows and stuff like that we're doing.
Nice.
So, at the end of the day, I mean, this really applies to pretty much everybody.
Everybody.
The
world would be a lot easier place.
Yeah.
If everybody did a little bit of this and worked this into their own self-care, from physical movement to eating right to living well.
And how are some of the ways? I mean, that's one of the things I, not to say I struggle with, but one of the issues I have. Was just thinking this has so much application to stop many people. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? Yep, got to get help. But one of the things I always, run into is like people ask the same questions I ask them, like how will you know from results we're working towards? I take people through a process similar to what you're doing and on the brain side of things, and I say to them, what are the results you're looking for, you want to get from doing the work? And it's not all just like overnight, just like this isn't overnight. I mean, you've worked on this for years, and that's why your brain is pretty squared away compared to mine right now, obviously, where it's all jumping over the map still, right? So the reason I'm bringing that up is because, like, how do you then go to them to show them like the difference? Is it like at the end of them doing a session, we're going to see the results at the end, and then over the course of time they can come back in and then look at the results from when they started, like they see a graphical results? Like how do you transfer that knowledge to somebody so they feel like that marketing hook per se on the business side, that they're like, man, I really want to do this makes sense? Like, how do you get somebody's attention? And it's a long question.
Well, I think it's a commitment. So that, my best client, like anything, is someone that really is ready for this and gets in a sense of it. I mean, you've already gained a sense of this.
Sure.
And the best way, I think, to see the proof in the pudding is watching some of these experiential videos of people that have gone through much more worse traumas or are recovering from stroke or trying to live with stroke.
Yeah. Do you have some videos on the website and all that kind of stuff people can watch? Cool.
Yep. We can attach that whole sheet to that site, and then they can go to the hyperlinks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's really where it starts. And then, the thing of it is, I think what's hard is that we have this paradigm way of thinking, though, that since this isn't a medical device, for example, and therefore it's not going to be covered in insurance, am I really going to try it? But really, the best way to look at that is you can go to the doctor and get medications to work on your symptomology, but that doesn't mean you're going to go home and change your diet like you should. Doesn't mean that you're going to work out regularly like you should, have good sleep regimen and discipline, or neurofeedback for that matter. So it's the same thing. Now let's look at this a little bit. So, we see that things are kind of straightening out. You're at the last Zen 4 cycle now. You've got just a couple more minutes to go. It's not as fast, which is good. Let me go back to the
Yeah, it's slowed down a
spectrogram
little bit.
It has slowed down a little bit. What do you think of the music? You like it?
Yeah, I love it. I listen to this every night, actually.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that.
So it's the music I'm listening to, guys, in the headphones. Is you'll see over here, I got these guys hooked up, but it's actually just music, and it sounds like very similar to like my heart meditation radio I listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Before I go to sleep, I don't have headphones on. I just
Right.
turn it on the phone.
Right.
But it's really chill, and it's all relatively. It's not like all like crazy sound or anything. It just seemed pretty normal to me, anyway.
Right. Good.
Yeah. So is there many different tracks that they do, or?
Nope, we have stuck to this. Now soon, Neuroptimal is going to be releasing.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, that's just another view of the same thing. It's the
Okay.
helix of,
You can kind of see the patterns.
Right, exactly. So,
Super
one
interesting.
color is the left brain, the other color is the right brain,
Uh-huh.
and how it's interacting with it. So I talked about that whole pattern. You see how the left brain's coming over here in pink to pull up something there over in the right.
So when you say they're pulling up and doing that, what does that mean
They're
exactly?
comparing, that's the beauty of what the brain does. It's like, okay, how can I be more efficient? So, maybe I can draw upon my delta wave to function something from your heart to maybe the tingling or neuropathy that you have in your limbs for someone who has diabetes to,
How does this hook in, like, wow, look, it just totally chilled out all of a sudden. Is that because it went off?
turn right.
Oh, it's because it was
Oh, because the
finishing.
sensor fell out. The sensor just fell off.
Oh, geez, I thought my brain was going dead on me here, guys.
Yeah, that's why we got to paste that buddy back on there. Oh, and it just stopped, so we're going to
Oh,
be able
yeah,
to
it
get your
stopped, too.
post baseline. So now we're going to watch.
To get my post baseline.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask him to have to be quiet, though.
I have to
Can't
be
talk.
quiet?
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
man, this is going to be tough.
Right.
I'm going to set this down.
Right, right.
I'll let you hold that and you
Okay,
can film.
sounds good. Okay, here we go. So,
Let me show you how it works. We got a new Facebook Live here, guys.
unprocessed. Okay, go.
Oh,
Hi.
it's-
Let's go back to, so we're seeing this or that.
Oh, you see you right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so now the post baseline. It's going to be 30 seconds. I'm going to ask him to keep his body still, and midway through I'm going to ask him to close his eyes so that we can kind of extrapolate one of his 5 senses. And we'll show you the analytics here in a moment. So here we go. You see now more the gentle flow. It's not flickering so quickly. His right brain is a bit more active than the left, indicative of someone who is new to neurotraining. Close your eyes, Daryl. Nice. Okay, we're going to save his post baseline, and it's these things, he was alluding to, that kind of how can we show the client what progress he or she has made is by keeping and storing these, and I can overlay these at times. So we go to the analytics. You see, okay.
Wow, yeah, I can see.
Okay, so you see we have this channel that's about the same. There wasn't a lot of movement there, but that's common.
You can see
Since you're in the
one
beginning.
in the middle, though.
But you see how your right brain's much more active and not out in balance. And I even said that. We could tell that your right brain was more active on the post baseline. Because really these colors should be overlaying, and we shouldn't be able to see one or the other. Right here,
So you should only see purple eventually, is what you're saying.
you won't, yeah, you'll see them, right.
And what causes that to happen? Is it? I mean, I played 16 years of football. I mean, I did Marine Corps stuff. I mean.
Well, we've often referred to, in what little we know about the dynamical nature of our brain, that we're left brain or right brain. So
Yeah.
traditionally, that's where you were. Now we have an opportunity to really balance that out. So we look at the pre. It was way up here. You see how the amplitude is more spiky.
Yeah.
Really nice to see the deviation went from 1700 down to 338. Came down this much. That's a positive divergence. So that the red line is the post. That's amazing for your initial brain training.
Woo! Good workout.
And when we see it go down, it is. What that means to me too is that, oftentimes when let's say we work with a personal trainer at the gym. Yeah, thank you. We may not experience the muscle conditioning until a day or two later. We're going to feel the burn a day or two later, right? Same thing with brain training.
Yeah.
If this red line was above here, I would say, oh, you're not going to really integrate the training you just had at this moment for another day or two. Because, it's just like, wow, I just trained a lot. I trained hard.
Is there some kind of food I should eat now, or supplements, or something I should put in my body?
Right, but because you had this kind of post-baseline that was less, I mean, it came down like 75%, more than that.
Is that normal?
That means that you trained real time. That's what that means.
What does that mean?
That means that your synapsized real time, that your brain and central nervous system responded real time.
Is that not
to
normal?
the training? That's fantastic. No, that's what we want to see. But it doesn't bother me if it's the same or higher.
Sure.
Sometimes you might have trained really hard. And
Training hard, guys.
You're not going to play it off for a day or two.
No playing here. We play big.
So this basically concludes your session. And normally, it takes about an hour. And at home, I often will be, sitting on the couch. I might even watch a movie. And as long as I can hear that music, I don't mind listening to the soundtrack of the movie. I'm used to it.
So
I don't
cool.
care. But yeah, I do this all the time. You know.
Everybody wants to know, where they get more information out of this. Do you have a website or Facebook page? Or?
Soon I'm going to be on the Ridgely Retreat site. And the best thing to do is go straight to the Zengar Institute. They are the designers. I'm a part of that community.
Okay.
And I also have that one pager with all these great testimonial YouTubes that are fun to watch.
We're gonna have to do some Nikki. I had some marketing stuff over here for her.
Yeah. So I'm going to add that on here today and
Awesome.
give me a call. The best thing is just to talk to me about your own constitution, and we'll get a sense of what the frequency and training should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be your best product, guys, and use it, right?
So I really, I have a package scheme, and then for any wellness professional and any veteran, first responder, and any student of any age, very important to me that they have the basest price I can provide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really, really important. It's very important to me that they're exposed to this and that families can afford it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you taking the time to work with me today.
Yeah.
Guys, and if you've got questions, again, we got more comments that are coming in, but time we got for now, guys. Hooked up some brain training. Get with my guest over here, right, Sharon?
Thank you so much.
And we'll pop her on the internet here, so she's got her Facebook page, and you can start liking her and following what she's doing out there. Appreciate everything she's doing. Simplify, guys.